Whenever you're ready.
Okay, hey y'all, I'm Favour. I'm Oinka Flami, Favour Babalola, and I'll be talking about women's resilience during the Rwandan genocide. Okay, before discussing women's resilience in Rwanda, we must discuss the Rwanda genocide. Rwanda has been divided into two tribes, the Hutu tribe, which is the majority, and the Tutsi tribe, which is the minority. There have always been ethnic strife between both tribes. However, April 6, 1994 changed it all. The president of Rwanda died in a plane crash caused by a rocket attack. The Hutus blamed the Tutsi tribe for fulfilling that attack, thus creating the 100-day genocide against the Tutsi tribe. As this quote states, over 800,000 Tutsi and moderate Hutus were slaughtered by Hutu extremists. As you can show, as this picture shows, there's mass graves built after the genocide, and it shows how the genocide affected everyone in Rwanda. Okay, Hutu men were forced to kill Tutsi members. If they did not, they would be killed. Tutsi men were also the first to be killed and were prone to witness mass murder. Yet the genocide also affected women. The UN reports about 250,000 Tutsi women were raped, and many others were seriously injured. Mass raping caused an epidemic of HIV and AIDS to occur in Rwandan women. Women also experienced more traumatic events than men. Take this graph from the study about traumatic episodes experienced during the genocide. On the x-axis, you can see the number of traumatic events, and on the y-axis is the frequency. This shows a high proportion of women experienced traumatic events, and also women also dominated the highest range of 7 to 12 different exposures. Through this, many women have various mental disorders such as PTSD, depression, and anxiety. Yet, they have baffled the world from their resilience throughout this whole genocide. This prompts the question of what factors prompted women resilience during the genocide, and how did their resilience change their roles in society? Okay, I want to first talk about The Long Walk from Freedom by Nelson Mandela. During his excerpt, he talks about the resilience throughout the process in jail, and most importantly, he discusses the resilience that others had on him. He states, the stronger ones raised up the weaker ones, and they became stronger through the process. This directly relates to the Rwandan genocide. Stronger women began to help weaker parts of their country to make their country stronger. And I want to introduce you to these three women who I call the women of resilience. These three women have shown their resilience through various parts. Meet Mama Lambert. During the genocide, almost all of her family were murdered, and she lost her husband also. However, she is a counselor with Solstice Ministries in Rwanda, an organization that supports thousands of genocide survivors. In the picture, she's seen comforting a person who's a genocide survivor. During the genocide, also we can see Peskasi. During the genocide, she was raped and assaulted for 2 weeks by Interahamwe groups. Now she starts a small business delivering produce. This shows how she's not letting trauma control her life, and she's a role model to all. Last but not least, Marie. She was raped by Interahamwe Milita when she was pregnant with her 5th child. She contracted HIV through the process. However, today she joined other women in establishing a agricultural company to grow pineapples and fruit trees. Also, this shows how all the women are taking a stand and not letting the horrible things that happen to them ruin their lives. They're also helping Rwanda change. From the growth of small businesses, Rwanda's economy increased immensely. This shows how women are changing their gender roles by taking active part in their community. Moving on to the factors of resilience. The factors of resilience, as you can see, is faith, family, purpose, and courage. During the genocide, many women had the belief of God, that that someone was watching over them. That gave them hope to live another day. Family. During the genocide, many women also had a lot of children. They had husbands and families such as mothers and fathers. Their family encouraged them to fight for another day. Also, there is purpose. The purpose of a life and the purpose of life consists of what they were before and their dreams of what they want to achieve. Lastly, courage and bravery to live and fight for another day is what helped them to be resilient. Okay. Looking at the factors of resilience to noting women's resilience, we can make the conclusion that women's resilience in Rwanda not only changed their gender roles, but helped rebuild Rwanda. From women's resilience, they helped create small companies and farming. This helped change the poverty rate from 77% in 2001 to 55% in 2011. Also, women's resilience also led to mass gender equality. Right now, it rates top five for gender equity. Also, as seen from this graph, Rwanda has the highest percentage of women in parliament. 61.3% of women are in parliament, which overcomes those in South Africa, Senegal, and even Germany. They are also being a great in helping rebuild for peace. ResearchGate.net states that they work as peacemakers and relief aid workers. Through this, they're helping prevent another horrible attack from happening. Even though Rwanda ranks top 5 in gender equity, it still has a tint of gender inequality in secondary schools. Social views of gender roles often limit girls' access to resources and opportunities. This affects their ability to attend and excel in school. According to Huggins and Randall, gender-based curriculum and teaching methods appear to be a major barrier to a girl's education, as education exists in masculinized school environment and curriculum. With Rwanda trying to change its economy to a service-based economy, they need educated girls. Having gender inequality hinders the future generation of women to continue the legacy of reform in Rwanda. My first solution is to make education more gender neutral. Making education more gender neutral would have two parts to it. Rwanda would do this by having teaching programs to empower and show women that education is important for a better future. Through this, they would display various careers that are open to women. A second part is to hire more women teachers. Many girls don't have that role model that we see here in America. They see men working as teachers, they see men working in different places, but they don't see women working. So by having that role model, that will help girls feel more motivated to continue in their studies. Yet there is a great limitation: money. About half of the population still lives in poverty. According to the BorgenProject.org, many rural Rwandans are farmers and have little money to spend. Thus, in rural areas, girls perform worse than boys because they have less money. In urban areas, they often outperform than boys. Through this, implementing a program in schools might not help low-income individuals because they're likely to drop out because of poverty. However, this is an easy fix. Here in America, we have government programs that will help low-income students. This is what Rwanda needs. By having these government programs, this will prompt the future generation of girls to continue rebuilding Rwanda. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. We have 2 questions for you. What evidence did you gather that you did not use why did you choose not to use it?
Okay, so during the Rwanda genocide, there was like a gender wash. More males were like killed during the genocide than women. And there's this article about like how is Rwanda more like is it equal or is it because of the gender wash that we see a lot of girls in parliament, we see a lot of girls in other male jobs than they should. I didn't use that because I didn't have I didn't use that because I don't feel like it would work with my project. However, I feel like if I had more time, I could have incorporated that to see like is Rwanda more gender equality based, or is it because of the gender washing that happened during the genocide?
Okay. And then lastly, if you had more time, what additional research would you conduct related to the issue?
Oh, okay. Yeah, I kind of answered that in the other question, but I feel like I would have researched about the gender washing, that, and also the HIV and AIDS. During the genocide, there was a lot of raping, which caused a mass epidemic of HIV and AIDS among women. As you can see, the women I mentioned in my previous slides, they had a lot of, most of them contracted HIV and AIDS. So I feel like if I dived in deep into like HIV and AIDS, that would have like showed like their resilience to the sickness and how like government programs are helping those women fight and combat those sicknesses. So that would have helped my argument better.
Okay. Thank you very much.